Alright guys, it is the month of May and that means it is time for yet another top 10 best characters in Phantom Parade Global Edition. Let's go. Before that, please flash like myself for content and let's go. Okay, so first, the game is obviously getting bigger. I want to make a few honorable mentions because these guys, they're still very good, you know, but I think they're a little bit more niche slash like not as good as other guys, right? So real quick, my three honorable mentions. My boy Tin Ghetto here, obviously a great green debuffer. He was on last month's tier list, but he's just been pushed off. You could argue for him to be here, honestly. Same goes for Mojito, just you know, like good in the stall teams and that with his guaranteed 30% damage, and Drip UG as well. I've been sleeping on this man. This dude is actually amazing. Like his break stuff and, you know, just all that kind of crit and all that. He's actually very good. I do rate Red UG a lot. But unfortunately, they did not make the tier list. Argue, you know, if you want, comment down below if they should have made it. In my opinion, they just don't. But it's global only, right? Remember that. So, my boy Sukuna is not included just yet because my boy drops in June. Alright, so he's on June's tier list. But anyway, let's go. Okay, so in 10th spot, alright, we already have a double up. We have two guys in the 10th spot. We have Momo, yep, as the first one. Obviously a solid blue support in the main pool, probably one of the best just normal buffers there, honestly, bar like the Yagas. You know, she's really good for that kind of stuff. Not much to say really. She can evade too, just a solid all-round support. I wish I had her in my account. I don't, unfortunately, but I really want her, bro. And in 10th as well, I've got my boy Blue Gojo, alright? I know they're completely different in like character-wise, but given the right support, my dude still lights stuff up. Like, don't sleep on him. Even though we have like every other element Gojo better. Blue Gojo, watch, SP buff, he's gonna be like at least like here, bro. Alright, mark my words, alright? But again, Momo, very solid support. You know, she has a bit of a debuffing, mostly damage, but just great overall character, right? So, number 9, we have another double up. I'm sorry, another one. I can't pick, alright? We have Blue Ghetto and Blue Inumaki, alright? Blue Inumaki, like in a blue team, does Ghetto's role but better. But Ghetto in every other element is better because obviously Inumaki does good debuffs for like blue damage increase and all that. But it's just for blue, right? Whereas Ghetto is for everyone. And Inumaki debuffs on his ult and Ghetto doesn't, right? But if we're just talking normal content, Ghetto helps every other character on this list, while Inumaki only helps the blue guys. And bar Sukuna, not the best options for blue in my opinion, but you know, there's still like a decent bit. There's obviously Ghetto, Inumaki, Sukuna, you got I guess that Nanami's always there, and there's Ino as well, and this Maki as well, and even Kamo, and then yeah, there's always options, right? But you know, if you're not running blue, Inumaki's useless, but Ghetto's not. But either way, right, they're still really good debuffers. Ghetto's obviously a bit more damage oriented because he's got that nuke ult. He's got, you know, the single target skills for any element. You know, he helps a lot with like just the overall team structure and that. And 8th place, alright, we have both Megumis. We have Green Megumi and Degumi, alright? Let me explain. So, same kind of thing goes for the Inumaki and the Ghetto. For green teams, I'd honestly probably put Green Megumi because he does green type damage increase and all that. He can actually get numbers really high as well with the little like additional attacks with the dogs he does. He's kind of like Red Mai, but green version, but I prefer Megumi to be honest. He does actually a decent bit of damage as well. And when he has both dogs active, great ult too. Overall, just a fantastic support debuffer character who can damage as well. And Degumi too, honestly, I feel like his value just increases, like, because, you know, his skill 1 domain buff, where it's like 99% damage taken increase, that's never changing, right? That's always going to be like a vital debuff. And I've only not got him higher because there's just like so much more DPS and, you know, the Yagas, for example, that I just can't ignore. But trust me, you know, it's ranked obviously, but all these units are like S tier for your account. You can't go wrong with any of these guys, right? So again, Megumi, pre-domain, you know, he's kind of useless, but once he's in that domain, my dude runs the show with his debuff. So in 7th spot, we have both Yagas. Again, they're kind of the same thing, can't really pick. Obviously, this Yaga is technically better because, you know, he has a free debuff every turn, because the tutoring you do with the SR1 is just auto in his passive, right? So you don't need to actually do tutoring ever, just auto every turn. You know, you get debuffs every turn with Yaga, but this one's just free, accessible, you know, can't go wrong with this one, right? But if you have this dude, oh man, I wish I had him. You know, very nice, right? So Yaga's pretty self-explanatory. You know, even the SR1 does some debuffs in that, and just overall great support, pretty much a staple for like almost any team. You know, just not much needs to be said. Amazing unit, right? So next we have Red Toji, all right? The dude that strips, you know, buffs and all that, can cut through invincibility. Just a very solid red DPS. I reckon him at max dupe, I'd personally choose him over Yuta, because he has more aura in my opinion. But like Yuta, I'd say is a bit more versatile because of the heals and all that. But and he has a counter too, so you can really pick whatever red DPS you want. There's you know, there's Drip Yuji, there's Hanami for like debuffing and that. And is there any other red guys that really that useful? I'm trying to think. There's Mai, yeah. Oh no. Oh, of course Degami, right? I mean Domain Gojo, right? So yeah, Toji, very solid DPS, you know, strips debuffs. Need I say more? It's a fantastic unit. Alright, so now 5th spot, we have the podium. Alright, the big podium with 5 and 4. Alright, Hollow Purple Gojo. I don't care that, you know, his whole purpose is to nuke, right? And he leads up to his nuke. His damage that he can pull off is mental. He can't not be here. He cannot not be here until maybe the high Gojo comes out on global. This dude's cemented in this spot. He's just a fantastic unit. That's, you know, not much more I can say really. Just great unit. Mekamaru, honestly, the green one, you know, Muta, he gives Gojo a run for his money. Look, even Gakukanji could easily go in this top 10, but Loki, he's an honorable mention as well. He's actually really good. I don't have him, so I can't even use him, but like, yeah, there you go. Alright, so yeah, Mekamaru is really good too, because obviously he can nuke, you know, with his Mekamaru counters, but he's a bit more reliant on, like, not reliant, but he improves when he has other Kyoto students, and not many are that good. And on top of that, he needs like these Mekamaru counters, while Gojo is just simple buff, kill, right? I think he's just a, you know, a great nuker, you know, pretty self-explanatory. Now in 4th spot, we have my boy Yuta Akotsu, okay? So, you know, again, self-explanatory, great nuker, healer, you know, strong with his crits, got the counter, just everything about him. He's got some debuffs too. Fantastic unit, you know. In the higher levels, he can still hold his own. I just wish he would heal himself with his passive, but not a big deal, right? Yeah, so Yuta, right? And you guys have all used Yuta. You know how crazy Yuta is. So now the true podium, right? In 3rd spot, we have my boy Hidden Inventory Teen Gojo. This may be controversial that he's not 2nd spot, but I'll explain in a second. But my boy Gojo, invincibility, you know, great nuke and damage, doesn't leave. He's got it all, right? You know, the damage increase buffs too. Provocation, he's literally got everything, and that's why it's so good. You know, he can pump out crazy numbers, doesn't leave, so he's always there for you. He's just my boy, right? There's nothing more to say really. Teen Gojo, fantastic. But we have my boy Zone Yuji at number 2, alright? You guys may be thinking, Charizard, why is Yuji over Gojo? Gojo's max damage is for like 1 turn, and then you gotta set up for another 5. My boy Yuji hits those numbers in the zone and his ult every turn almost. My boy's hitting 2 mil off normals, 3 mil off normals with the Black Flash. My boy's busted, and I feel like it's underrated because most people didn't summon for him, especially on global, because they knew Domain Gojo was coming, right? But my boy Yuji, trust me, do not sleep on my boy. He is a fantastic DPS. Oh, I love him so much, bro. You know, his skin as well. low-key the art without the skin's better, but I like having the drip on him, so I keep the skin on. But my boy's just amazing. Loves Zone Yuji, limited character. I guess you can try going for him if you don't have him when High Gojo comes out, because he's going to get re-released around that time. But until then, I'm sorry boys, you're missing out. But number one, I'm sure nobody saw this coming. We have my glorious king, the GOAT of Venom Parade, Domain Gojo. Oh, 300% support, right? On top of that, crazy damage. Just bro, Domain Gojo has it all. And he's invincible, 9 turns, makes every unit good. There's no way he's not first. Every list is first. When Sukuna drops, maybe you can argue second spot at the absolute minimum, right? But right now, undeniable, you know, definite first spot, alright? I assume most of you guys have him because, you know, this is what we all save for, right? If you don't have him, I'm praying for you. You know, I don't know how the later tower floors and that kind of stuff is going to go, but, bro, Domain Gojo, glorious king, the GOAT, simple as that. But that is all for the tier list of May. If you guys enjoyed, be sure to flash like button for content, and I'll see you guys later. Peace!